Hey, man.
What's going on?
Have you ever heard of Jho Low?
Jho Low? Yeah.
Have you? Really?
Yeah. It's I think it's just pronounced J Lo, but you want to call her Jho Low? That's cool too.
Yeah, it came out that way. Oh, you're right. It's J Lo.
No, okay, cool.
No, Jho Low. It's spelled JHOLOW. Jho Low.
Jho Low.
Yeah, pretty close actually.
JHO
JHOLOW. Jho Low.
No, what are we talking about?
So this is a guy from Malaysia.
Okay.
He's approximately 40 years old. By approximately, he's actually 40 years old.
Okay.
Who is the mastermind behind one of the largest white-collar crimes in recent history.
The McDonald's Monopoly scam.
Yes, not quite that big. No, he pulled $4.5 billion, and he's still at large.
In real money or like in EVE Online money?
In EVE Online dollars. No, real dollars. $4.5.
He pulled that. What do you mean he pulled $4.5 billion?
We needed to hold on. I need to set the story. Let's set the stage. Let's get to this.
Okay.
Because it takes a second to
set
get
the stage.
Let me set the stage
For J Lo.
J Lo was born. He grew up in a Malaysian town called Georgetown.
Okay.
Which was named after George Washington. That's not true.
I don't know why'd you say that and then go, You bailed on it so fast.
It's funny to me, but
yeah, no one else.
Anyways, okay, cool. Cut it out.
Leave it in, Alex.
No, cut it out.
Leave it in.
Cut it out.
Leave it in.
Cut it out.
Okay.
Which was named after George Washington. Georgetown. After George Washington.
George Washington.
Cut it out.
Leave it in, Alex.
No, cut it out.
Leave it in.
Cut it out.
Leave it in.
Cut it out.
You bailed on it so fast.
It's funny to me, but
okay.
Which was named after George Washington.
Things I learned last night.
His parents. His upbringing was.
We really jumped straight into it. I don't think I was prepared, to be honest.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you just went, hey, what's up?
It's true. Normally, we have a little bit more banter in the beginning.
Yeah, but we'll go for it.
Maybe we should banter a little bit.
We should banter.
You know
have
what?
you seen the movie The Mist?
I don't think I have, but I do have a story about that.
No, you don't. About The Mist?
Yeah.
Yeah, the commercials came on. I watched the commercial, and the next morning my computer said, kill Josh.
I let the mist into her house. And now he's going to kill everything.
Oh, man. And he's still alive, you know?
Still at large.
What a missed opportunity. All right, that's enough. J Lo.
No, The Mist. I got to tell you about The Mist.
Okay, The Mist. You really do have a story with The Mist?
I have a story about The Mist.
I was joking. Okay.
So
why?
I don't know. This is so embarrassing.
Ooh.
I don't know why. I never saw the movie.
Okay.
But for some reason, the concept was very interesting to me.
Sure.
And so whenever
What's
that
the concept
came out,
in your brain?
that there's this mist that rolls into town. There's monsters in the mist. And they
Okay,
kill
well, you
people.
got it. You got it. That was it. That's the whole movie.
And so that movie came out around the same time I was trying to learn 3D animation. What was that, middle school or high school?
I don't know.
When did that come out?
When did you try to learn 3D animation?
I don't remember. There was a lot of like random hobbies like that I tried to pick up.
I mean, I was playing
middle
Roller
school.
Coaster Tycoon as a full-grown adult. So who knows when that was for you.
So this came out in middle school.
You could tell me you spent all of last week learning 3D animation. I would believe you.
I was trying to learn it, and
you were like, I'm going to make some mist monsters.
Perfect. Yeah, so that came out in 2007.
Oh, no. Are you going to show us one of your creations?
No. But I was trying to learn how to animate stuff, and so Google had a free animation platform that they still have called SketchUp.
Okay.
And you could like sketch up animations.
Sure.
And so I was learning how to build buildings and stuff like that, and they had a feature where you could create the fog, but it looked like the mist thing. And I built this world. I built this like mythical world for myself with a town where whatever, and I made a backstory, and the backstory was a Myst type backstory, but also around that time, How to Train Your Dragon came out. So in my version, it was the How to Train Your Dragon dragons in the mist.
Is in the mist. So like friendly little dragons.
Friendly little dragons are coming in with the mist, and
people are like, we gotta lock down in the grocery store. Oh my gosh. Okay, so The Mist has been out for a while. I don't care about ruining the ending. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, if you want to watch it, just go ahead and skip ahead for a second.
Yeah.
And also skip ahead on the movie. It's 2 hours. The real payoff is the last 5 minutes where they get into the car. They get to the car. They drive through the mist. They drive for as long as they can. Car runs out of gas, you know? And they're still in the mist.
oh no,
And there's 5 of them in the car. They got a gun with 4 bullets.
oh no,
So he kills everyone in the car,
except for
himself.
yeah.
And then he gets out of the car and he's like, take me, monsters. And you hear the things. And it's a military tank rolling up on him because they have saved everyone.
Oh no, and he killed
he
everyone.
just killed his kid.
Oh no.
Isn't that gruesome?
Yikes,
That
that's
sucks.
rough.
It was an ending. Yeah. So
Let me tell you how mine ended. So Hiccup and Astrid, they had to fly to where the dragons were training. And Toothless was captured.
why are you saying the characters' names? What do you know the characters' names?
I Googled it.
Oh my gosh. Golly, that was good.
Okay, so Jho Low,
That is embarrassing. I'm glad that you brought that up. How to Train Your Dragon.
I started telling you that earlier, and I was like, you know what? No, you're going to want to publicly ridicule me for this one.
They're in the mist. Yeah. Oh, man. Guys, I don't know if we should go out there. I will be the brave one to go out there and get hugged by a Care Bear. You know? You get out there and freaking Grimace from McDonald's is like, here's a Happy Meal. Or whatever he sounds like.
Did you know, this is a total sidebar, did you know that in, I think it's China, Ronald McDonald, for some reason, is named Donald McDonald? Donald McDonald?
Donnie McDonald.
So Jho Low, he came up in a pretty wealthy family. His dad
Sure.
ran an investment fund, but they weren't they weren't top tier.
Yeah.
They weren't 1%. They were 10%. You know.
Okay.
So they were rich.
Upper
they were
middle
very
class?
rich.
Oh, very rich.
but not rich. You know.
They're like poor rich. Rich
Yeah.
poor.
Yeah, they're
They're rich poor people.
Yeah, they're here.
Poor rich people.
So he went to a boarding school in London called the Harrow School.
Okay, so they're rich.
And this school is where Winston Churchill went to school. And another notable name,
notable
Jawaharlal Nehru.
Yeah.
Who was the first Prime Minister of India.
Nice.
100% not sure if I pronounced that first
You
name right. But the people in that
You also
school...
didn't pronounce Prime Minister. You call him Prime Minister like some kind of Midwest guy. Prime Minister.
Anyways. At this school...
Yeah.
He was poor, dirt poor.
Sure.
Compared to everybody else in that school. They were
Yeah, they're like,
they were
oh,
literal
whoa.
royalty.
Did you roll up in an Audi?
Yeah, they were literal royalty. And
Yeah.
he was desperate to fit in. And so he
Lied.
figured out, hey, pretty quickly, he figured out it doesn't matter if I have money. He said it matters if people think I have money. And so he got really good at...
Is this like the what's that Netflix series? Something Anna?
Inventing Anna?
Yeah. Is it like
I
that
haven't
kind of
seen
concept
it,
where
so I
she
don't
just
know.
pretends she's very rich and she racks up all these bills and all this stuff and she's like, oh,
It
hang out
kind of
with rich people.
starts that way. Kinda.
okay. So in boarding school, he's like, hey, I'm rich.
Yeah, so he negotiates all these deals somehow to get a day on this $100 million yacht.
Oh, geez.
somehow.
So he's like the YouTube entrepreneurs.
Yeah, but and negotiates this deal that he's like never going to pay back, but manages to land it. Invites all these kids to this party, and they're like, "Oh, this guy's like one of us."
He's on a yacht.
Yeah, he's got $100 million yacht, and then like he would throw these exclusive parties at these nightclubs,
rack up a crazy bill.
Yeah, and then just never pay him back or like negotiate it down after the fact to like 20% of whatever it was. So like
sure,
just got really good at faking his way through stuff.
Okay.
While he was there, he managed to work his way into kind of the in crowd of the school, the popular kids, the cheerleaders,
Yeah. Were the cheerleaders cool at your school?
No.
They were not at mine either. Who were the cool people at your school? Football players were cool still.
Football players were cool. Basketball was cool.
Basketball players were the coolest.
Yeah. Baseball had a crossover. There was a handful.
Yeah.
It was kind of the multi-sport kids.
Yeah, they were the
kids
cool
who
ones,
did
for sure.
who
Who were
did
the cool
everything.
girls? At our school, it was the volleyball girls.
Yeah, volleyball was up
and
there
basketball
for sure.
girls.
Basketball was up there for sure. Soccer was kind of cool
Yeah.
for us.
And the mathletes.
In a weird turn of events.
Mount Vernon just had they were like, man, these kids are cool. We looked to the mathletes to steer our culture.
You're hanging out at Red Robin. This convertible rolls up. It's like, oh my God, it's the mathletes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. You're inside Red Robin with your unlimited fries. And you're like, is that Priscilla? Oh my gosh. She's got a 4.2. She's a 10 with a 4.2. Priscilla, how many french fries are in my basket right now?
Gets it every time.
Crazy, dude. 23 of them. I wish I was that cool. Yeah.
She can count so good.
She can count. Crazy, dude.
You can count on me.
That was actually what her promposal said. Priscilla, can you count on me for prom? Yeah, my school was weird, The nerds were But that did all change when the star of our basketball team auditioned to be in the musical. And he wouldn't believe the shake up to the status quo. You know what I'm talking about? And we that wasn't until the mist rolled in.
You know what's pretty wild? God dang it.
Troy Bolton.
You took such a turn. I was going to run that bit and you...
Get your head in the mist. Gotta get your head in the mist. What is going on in this town?
Yikes. Okay.
Priscilla, how far away is the closest monster?
Let me do the math.
Yeah, she's freaking so weird, dude. She wears homemade sweaters.
I can tell you how many threads are in the sweater because I made it. And I remember.
Okay, this is stupid.
Okay, so Jho Low.
So he just kind of figured out, like, the cool kids were the rich kids. So he became one of the cool kids by pretending to be rich.
Yeah, by pretending to be rich. And he got really close with a guy named Riza Aziz, who is the stepson of the Prime Minister of Malaysia, Najib Razak.
Okay.
And that relationship would become a very important relationship in the life of
Jho Low.
Jho Low.
For sure.
In the future. And so he graduates from high school, moves to the U.S. and starts trying to build a career for himself.
Where at in the U.S.?
Let me see, New York.
Okay.
And so he starts working with some investment firms in New York and is a part of a couple fairly large like real estate transactions.
Sure.
He didn't himself purchase those, but he was like
he's in the
financier
deal.
in the
Sure.
Yeah, involved in the process. All the while, very conscious of the relationships he was forming with people who were like the it makers. And so he was still doing this game where he would pretend he was super wealthy, figure out how to throw this party for basically no money.
Come to my New York high-rise apartment.
Yeah, but he was like, really, it was an open house that
he
pretended.
People do this on TikTok all the time, dude.
Yeah.
I saw a TikTok the other day that was like, just got the keys to my $7,000 New York apartment. And then another TikToker was like, yeah, so I called the owner of that building because I recognized that building. And I called the owner and asked if that unit was even for sale, if people could buy units there.
Yeah.
And they said no.
Okay.
So I like that there's a version of like, there's people who are dedicated to being the anti-Jho Lows now.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Who were like, like somebody was
you're
posting,
lying.
like, just got the keys to my $3 million apartment or whatever.
It's like, no,
And like, no, you're just lying.
yeah, that's rough.
Yeah. We have a lot of Patreon supporters.
Yeah, you wanted me
And
to show
someone's
you the
going to make
keys
a
of what
TikTok
we've
where
got.
they go, no one's listening to this podcast. These guys don't exist.
Okay,
So anyway,
Jho Low,
he's scheming.
he's scheming, and he ends up architecting his first major deal of purchasing this or selling this high-rise apartment in Kuala Lumpur.
Okay.
Did I get that right?
Did you say it so
felt
confidently that I was going to let you do it?
Kuala Lumpur.
Yeah.
For $87 million. And he was
What's
able
his
to
commission?
take... Well, that was his commission.
His commission was $87 million?
Yeah, so he took home a fat chunk of change.
What?
And he...
Dude, why are we podcasting?
Wait,
No.
what was the property price?
A few $100 million. Alex, I don't need you to second guess me right now. This is the middle.
Like that's a $500 million house if you're doing normal.
It was
real
a
estate
high-rise
commission.
apartment building. So I don't know exactly the exact value of it.
It's probably
It doesn't matter.
$87 million.
All I know is he took $87 million.
In what year?
2006. So right before we blew up the market.
Okay.
This could be part of it.
Okay.
But anyways, the numbers don't matter. All that matters is he took $87
The facts
million.
don't matter.
I'm not one of the athletes.
Got a good deal on it, dude.
He ended up getting $87 million out of this deal. I don't know how he did it. He took $87 million.
He made $87 million.
He made
on a
$87
deal.
million.
Tuesday. That's right. That's when new episodes drop on Patreon. Patreon's a way to get early access to episodes and other content and exclusive merchandise. And we're not going to stop there because we got a private Discord with our hosts and producers in it for less than 17 cents a day. That's right. That's $5 a month. You too can be a Patreon supporter and not hear advertisements in this freaking podcast anymore. Text TILLN to 66866. Otherwise, I'll come to your house. I will find you. I will destroy everything that's good in your life until we're the only thing left. Anyway, here's another advertisement. Okay.
And he started making some investments and doing
That's
some
because he
things
took a
pretty
course
legit.
by Grant Cardone.
I'm Greg Cardone.
I'm Grant Cardone.
And so he took over $87 million off this.
Sure.
And he started investing that money into a handful of different opportunities.
Okay.
All the while getting really close to the Prime Minister of Malaysia.
Yeah. His friend's dad.
Yeah, it's his friend's dad.
They're playing ping
And
pong
so
together.
he tells him, he says,
Shooting
hey.
cornhole in the backyard.
He says, hey, friend's dad.
Hey, friend's dad.
And he says, please.
Hi, Mr.
use
Prime Minister, my
name."
friend's dad. Hey, will you throw in my name places? Sure will, my friend's son. And he just goes around telling people, my friend's
son.
Well, my
Sold this
no,
apartment.
just kidding. My son's friend.
Oh, yeah.
My son's friend.
My son's friend sold this apartment building for an undescript amount of money, and somehow he got $87 million out of it. I
Yeah.
don't understand the math.
Yeah, the numbers don't make sense.
But I think that's the point.
But he could sell your building.
Yeah, for the same amount or more. So he gets in with the prime minister, and his name's Najib. And Najib and him, they start to kind of put together this dream of putting together a investment fund for Malaysia that would invest into infrastructure in Malaysia to help make Malaysia like a superpower. Really.
Sure.
And the idea was we'll sell bonds to Malaysians and people outside Malaysia who believe in Malaysia, I guess, to further that economic growth. So Jho Low has this relationship with someone from Abu Dhabi in the government.
Okay.
And Joe says, I think we can also do this to leverage that relationship to create a stronger bond between Malaysia and the United Arab Emirates. And so basically, they were able, through the United Arab Emirates and through the Malaysian government to create this investment fund that they ended up calling the One Malaysia Development Berhad, which they called the 1MDB, to put it all together. But these organizations, together with just the two of them, had a hard time generating.
So he's living in New York. Sorry, he's living in New York.
Yeah.
And he is basically brokering a deal between the Malaysians and the Arabs. And he's saying, why don't we invest together here?
Yeah. Why don't we make a fund together?
Yes.
And that fund would sell bonds. Those bonds would go into our governments to help strengthen infrastructure in our nations.
Sure.
The issue is because it was a new fund, a lot of people who would typically buy bonds had a hard time trusting them.
Yeah, I mean, you got no track record.
So they went and they found Goldman Sachs, and they said, hey, do you want to be a part of this? And
we know you guys aren't doing anything sketchy in 2006. And we know you guys will be around for a long time. We're just wondering if you guys want to invest in us.
And they said, yes.
Yeah, Goldman Sachs said, let us check with our accountants who don't exist. And look over, it's just the toothless dragon from How to Train Your Dragon just sitting over there. You know? And it's like, yeah, they said we could do it. You know? 'Cause who cares? It's 2006, baby.
Who cares?
We're on top of the world.
Yeah, money's fake.
Yeah.
Goldman Sachs did it. And then when they did that, people were like, oh, it's legit.
That's hilarious.
And so a ton of people bought these bonds.
Man, to be alive in 2006 would have been great.
To the tune of around $1 billion worth of bonds was purchased. And
you just blew past the me not being alive in 2006? I said it, and you were like, to the tune of $1 billion.
I was
like,
too
okay.
busy being dramatic.
Okay.
To the tune of $1 billion.
Well, I was busy skipping
and now
the year
for
2006.
A word from Applebee's.
What? So they sold $1 billion in bonds.
They sold $1 billion in bonds.
Thanks to Goldman Sachs
putting their name on
being
it.
like, hey, okay.
Yeah, we're a part of this.
Wow.
Jho Low. And so the idea, and it's unclear at this point who knew what was going on.
Yeah.
The idea was this is going to go to infrastructure, right? Jho Low, meanwhile,
that was Jho Low's idea.
Set up a Swiss bank account under an LLC that was
How easy is it to do this stuff? Because I hear about people doing this stuff all the time.
What do you mean?
Like set up Swiss accounts.
I guess kind of easy. I don't know. He sets up a company that's owned by a bearer bond.
Okay.
Have you heard of this? This is pretty sketchy.
A bond bearer?
A bearer bond.
Bond bearer.
Bearer bond. Different.
Yeah. A bond bearer is the person in the wedding ceremony who walks down the aisle with the prenup in hand and makes each couple sign it in front of all their family and friends.
Here's what happens if this doesn't work out. And he has to read the whole thing.
Yeah, and he's like 7, so it's pretty difficult. There's some big words in there, you know? I'm looking to...
He's missing his 2 front teeth. He's got this weird lisp.
Article 1.
Section 7.
As specified in the following prenuptial agreement.
Excuse me, sir. What's this word?
What's this word?
So Joe, he sets up this LLC with a Swiss bank account. The LLC is owned by a bearer bond, and the way bearer bonds work, if you don't know, is it's a single owner of an LLC. But if you look on the documentation, it's owned by this bond, not by an individual, not like by a person.
Okay.
So it says this bond account holds this company. And the way a bearer bond works is
whoever owns the bond owns this company.
Yes.
So when you sell your bond,
a bearer bond doesn't have to disclose the owner of that bond in any documentation. Whoever literally physically holds that bond owns a bearer bond. So it's incredibly easy to hide your ownership of a company if you own it through a bearer bond.
What do you mean physically holds it? You got to print it out?
It's a certificate like you got for
It's like a
graduating
piece of paper.
kindergarten. And if
You
you
put it in
have
a
that in
safe
your
somewhere.
possession, then you're the owner of the company. If for some reason your house burns down or you lose that, and someone finds it, then they own the company because there's no documentation anywhere. It's literally, honestly, it's literally designed for tax evasion. Like there's no other excuse for why this exists.
It's only designed for thieving.
Yeah, there's no purpose for this other than if you're being sketchy.
It sounds like it was made up for a director who wrote a really good movie, and someone was like, "Yeah, but it wouldn't work because like you could just people would steal the paper. They don't actually own the company." And he's like, "Yeah, well, we'll make up a thing called a bearer bond, where they steal the paper, and that means they own the company now."
So you're saying this dude made a movie with a big plot hole?
Yeah, huge plot hole, and then like in real life had to figure out how to make it work. Yeah, because I mean, otherwise, contracts are signed. Nick Cage is on set. Okay, Nick Cage can't just steal the deed to Dairy Queen. All right, Are you kidding me?
Instead of trying to like explain it in a sequel,
yes,
he says, "Let's pass some legislation."
Yeah,
let's make it reality. That makes sense. I should do that with my version of The Mist.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what he had a whole thing out. You know, Nick Cage was already on set trying to steal the deed to Dairy Queen. All right. And then you should have seen his face whenever King of Queens was already taken. He about lost his mind, man. You know what I'm talking about? Wow.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Anyways.
It was Kevin James the whole time.
What a twist.
Kevin James was in The Mist the whole time.
The King of Queens is set in the same universe as The Mist, and that explains everything.
I mean, they're stacking stuff in front of the doors. We got to keep this monster out. And from The Mist comes Paul Blart.
Segway and all.
Right out of The Mist. I'm here.
Hey, I'm here to help.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Where were we? Jho Low.
So a bearer bond. So what's he do with the bearer bond then?
Oh, he just takes the $1 billion that they made off selling the bonds and puts it in that Swiss bank account, and then goes and tells all the other people a part of this. He's like, "Hey, we invested it in infrastructure." And this guy goes ham.
He's just siphoning money.
Yeah, like literally all of it.
Yeah.
And this dude goes freaking ham. He moves to LA and he starts going on these.
How do you spend bearer bonds? Where you can't just show up to freaking.
No, he put the money in the Swiss bank account. The LLC that owned the bank account was owned by a bearer bond, which he owned the bearer bond.
Okay.
But you can't trace it back to him in any way.
Got it.
And so then he was just pulling money out, cleaning it.
I need to set this up.
So he's just pulling money out, cleaning it, and
two
then
ways to
going
dodge
to
taxes.
LA. And
bearer bonds and 501c3s.
Okay, so he goes to LA.
No, it's so serious, dude. People can just. There's the minimum requirements to become a church are so little,
It's very low.
that
It's very low.
we could set up like little
We're
things.
close enough. We're close enough. For
You
sure.
and I are close enough.
This show, what we do, we're close enough. We could pull it off.
We already have a set apart space.
Yep.
We've already got a regular meeting time. We record each week.
We're already counseling people
Yeah,
through.
I'm already
life.
a Christian.
I mean, we've all been on staff at churches.
Well,
It's
we gotta
true,
wait for
have counts.
We
have
gotta wait for Tim
credentials.
to proclaim it.
We have credentials. I have a
A lot of head
Ordained.
knowledge,
I'm
but do you
ordained.
have heart knowledge?
okay. So
I'm saying a lot of people, there's it's right there.
yeah, we're close. Cool. So join our church.
Text TILLN to 66866.
So he goes to LA.
Yeah.
He moves to LA and he
Sure.
goes on an 8-month bender. And they estimate that in those 8 months, he spent $85 million.
$10 million.
Yeah, a touch
A
over
month?
10 million a month. And he was buying yachts. He was going to throw in these huge parties where he was having, and these parties, he would literally, so here's what he decided. When he moved to LA, pretty quickly in LA, he became enamored with the film scene.
Yeah.
And he wanted to be a part of it. And so he knew the way I become a part of it is if I become friends with the people in the film scene.
Yeah.
And
So,
he said,
so he's already got Goldman Sachs in his pocket.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know who else I want to get to know?
Hollywood.
Harvey Weinstein. And he's getting to know all these people. He's like, everything's going to age so well. That's who ran that.
I mean, you're right. You're right. So he said the way I get close to everybody in Hollywood is if I throw parties that people in Hollywood are a part
Yes.
of. And so what he does,
And he becomes friends with.
So what he did was he literally started calling agents of celebrities and saying, "Hey, I'll pay."
Wait, what's Kevin
your
Spacey up to
talent."
tonight?
He said, "I'll pay your talent $100,000 to come to this party tonight."
Oh my gosh.
And the talent was like, sure. And so he has all these pictures of him at parties. This is Jho Low, by the way, on the right with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Which, is this a younger picture of him? Why is this picture in
I
the
don't know
middle
what
here?
the deal is with that picture in the bottom.
Okay.
Maybe it is a younger picture. I'm not sure.
And it's, that Leonardo DiCaprio is making money to be there.
Yeah. And then like on the left, that's a really bad picture of Paris Hilton.
Like a really bad picture of Paris Hilton. And then he also clearly hung out with Pitbull the week before. And was like, I like that look.
I like that look. We're going with that. We're sticking with that.
This guy, this is him, right?
Yeah, on the right, yeah.
For context, and I don't mean this as an insult in any way.
Well,
he is
okay. His friends called him Fluffy Panda.
Okay.
That was the nickname. They
He
gave him.
looks like the kid from Up.
Oh, he actually really does look like the kid.
Yeah, that's
from
what I'm
Up.
saying.
That's
Like,
a really
it was
good comparison.
yeah, he looks
actually.
like the
kid
Boy
from
Scout.
Up grew up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this a younger picture of him?
It might be. I'm not sure what that picture is, honestly.
Okay.
I just found this on Google.
Okay.
But yeah, that's one of his parties with a bunch of celebrities that he paid to be there.
What's this lady doing next to
Partying.
him? That's partying, huh?
I don't know. I've never been to a Hollywood party. I've only
don't
been to
know.
athlete parties.
Who's by his elbow? Because it kind of looks a little bit like Obama. Doesn't it?
That is an Obama hand for sure. All we can see is a hand. If you're listening, all you can see is a hand, but I'm not going to lie.
It looks a little bit like Obama.
Probably Obama.
Got paid to be there. Huh.
Oh my gosh. Oh, speaking of getting paid.
How do I get to that level?
to where someone calls you and
they're like,
wants
hey.
to pay you $100,000 just to show up to your party?
I think you just start emailing like venture capitalists, like, hey, I can show up at your event and here's my rate.
And what is that? Venturecapitalist@gmail.com?
Yep. Just see what happens.
All right, I'll look into it.
Talk to your agent. say, get me into some parties that I can get paid to go to. Oh, I was gonna say this. Speaking of getting paid, I mean to show you this. You've been on the road. Check out this.
I was on the road getting paid.
Yeah, check out this wallet I found downstairs. Isn't this freaking sick? Look at that. He's you pitched that.
I want to be very clear of what you did. Because that's hilarious that you did that. Be clear. I'm crying and snotting, dude. So to be clear, that's such an expensive joke. Did you put that on the Space Jam card at least?
No, I bought it. I paid for it.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I am crying. Okay. My mic is all messed up. Okay. So hold on. 2 months ago, I lose my wallet. And it was a wallet that was gifted to me by a company who makes pretty expensive wallets.
Yeah, they're really nice.
And then you paid for like $100 wallet, identical to the one that I lost, just to pull it out and say, hey, I found this.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. The first thing you did was accuse me of stealing it. The first thing you did. And so when we left that day, I ordered it.
Shut up.
And it came while we were in Orlando. And then you went on tour.
What if I found that?
It really is a great wallet, though.
Shut up. I know I lost mine.
I'm pretty stoked about it.
Oh. Did you at least use my promo code?
I didn't, no. But I got one if you need it when you replace yours.
That was a really funny bit. I hate that you spent $100 on that.
Man, I've been waiting a long time for that.
Wow.
That felt good.
I do need to order another one. Delta
I got a
email.
promo code.
Delta email. Shut up. I have a promo code. Golly. Well, I have a commission code. I could have made $10 on yours.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, that hurt. They just give everybody an affiliate code?
Yeah, they do.
Oh,
when I
shoot.
bought one, they're like, hey, here's an affiliate code.
No, they gave me mine for free. That's probably why I lost it. You don't take care of things you don't spend money on.
Yep. Actually, that's a great segue. Have you heard of TILLN podcast merch? That's right. We have a merch store full of TILLN brand tees, hoodies, mugs, and so much more. We also make new designs for every single episode, but those are only available for a limited time, so get them while they're hot. Text TILLN to 66866 to get your TILLN merch today. So, Jho Low.
That's what I said when I saw Kevin James come out of the mist. What a great segue.
So, Jho Low.
Yeah.
It worked for him. He had been throwing these parties trying to meet people in Hollywood, and he became friends with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Who you become friends with?
Yeah, probably not. And
This is
Leo,
what I'm afraid of. He has a picture with Leonardo DiCaprio, and you say he's friends with Leonardo DiCaprio.
listen to the rest of the story.
Okay.
So Leo and his friend Martin Scorsese, for a couple of years, had been working on this film that they really wanted to produce,
Yeah.
and they were struggling to get anyone to
funding
pay for it because
It's a bad movie.
it was going to be an R-rated film,
It was gonna be a
and it was going to
bad
cost
movie.
$100 million. And so they knew an R-rated film was already going to have a smaller audience at that
Was it
high
Wolf
of an
of Wall
investment.
Street?
He was like, yeah, it's going to be impossible to fund it. So they're having a really tough time. And Leo met this dude who's throwing these gigantic, super expensive parties with a guy who's desperate to be involved in Hollywood, and managed to broker a deal to have Jho Low produce The Wolf of Wall Street, which is the most poetic thing.
So, The Wolf of Wall Street, for the people who have not watched it, myself
Yeah.
included, I'm only going off the plugged-in review right now.
Yes.
Is a story of a huckster, a guy
Yeah.
who was
His name is Jordan Belfort.
yes,
That's his real name.
was selling penny stocks, overinflating the price.
Yeah.
Was kind of, taking money here, paying it off with this other person,
Mm-hmm.
living on like kind of the run of money. And that movie is produced by someone who is also doing that.
Yeah, 100%.
That'd be like if you made a movie about me losing my wallet. That's so beautiful.
And here's the best part of the irony of it.
Is he credited in it?
Yeah, he's in the credits as the producer.
Wow.
In Leo's speech at the Oscars that he got for it, he thanked Jho Low. The best part about
That was
this,
2012, right?
Yeah, somewhere around there, early 2010s. The best part about it is Jordan Belfort, the guy that The Wolf of Wall Street is based off of.
Who actually went to prison?
Yeah, he
right?
went to prison for 2 years, paid like $100 million fine.
Yeah.
He's obviously out of prison now.
He's a motivational
and-
speaker.
He is. He got invited to one of Jho Low's parties, And Belfort, the scammer, said, this guy is not legit. I don't want anything to do with him. And the reason he cited is he said, nobody spends money they earned that way.
Interesting.
And he's like, this guy's not someone I want to be around. And he was right, because Jho Low was stealing all of that money and blowing the heck out of it and throwing these lavish parties. And the scale of the parties he was throwing, here's another like famous story of a party he threw. 1 year for New Year's, he said, how cool would it be to do New Year's twice? And so he, with all of his hired celebrity friends, rents a 747.
Oh, yeah. So you do New York, and then you fly and beat New Year's.
So they did New Year's in Sydney.
Yeah.
And they did the New Year's, and he loaded all his celebrity friends in the 747, flew to Vegas, and did New Year's in Vegas a few hours later. That's the level of just crazy that this guy was, and the level of extravagance that he went to. His birthday party, like, rivaled Coachella. Like, that kind of stuff was what he was just known for.
Wow.
Being that. And so then, in the midst of all of this, there probably should have been some red flags among some people that maybe this guy isn't using the bond money well.
Yeah, like to, okay.
So he goes back to the Malaysian government and the Saudi Arabian government and Goldman Sachs and says, hey, there's a lot more infrastructure that Malaysia still needs. Should we sell more bonds? And they're all like, yes, we should sell more bonds.
Oh,
and
yes, we will do that.
So they did another round and they raised $4 billion, of which he took the vast majority of it. Once again, funneling it through these Swiss bank companies. What he was doing, though, this time around was very clever, because what he set up, again, bearer bond owned companies, but he named the companies things like
Leonardo DiCaprio. The stuff I've done under Tim Stone LLC is pretty wild.
It's pretty crazy.
I'm not going to lie to you.
No, he would name the companies like BlackRock Commodities Corporation. And so it's not the BlackRock, but to a...
Oh, but he really was doing what I just joked about then.
Exactly.
Okay.
To someone who's auditing you, they're like, oh, that's BlackRock, like the big BlackRock. Like, whatever. That's just probably one of their subsidiaries, and they're not looking into it. And so he was literally doing that with massive corporations, just naming something, their name, and
commodities,
blank Asian real estate ventures or something like that. So it's like, oh yeah, that's a sub company of this major company, is what banks were thinking when they were looking at it. So they thought these were legitimate transactions when he was just embezzling funds. So very clever. In the late 2010s, someone at hold on, let me make sure I get this.
Is he doing this all by himself? Like, does he have a team of people?
Well,
is there an office that he goes to? Who do you work for? Jho Low. What do you do there? I don't really know.
I can't put my finger on it.
Last week we spent an hour at our staff meeting debating why they called it Donald McDonald in China.
We came to a conclusion. And we made $7 million from that meeting.
Yeah, somehow. We each got paid $7 million for being there.
I'm not sure what.
You know, I don't really ask a lot of questions.
It works out pretty well for me.
Yeah,
so we're going, anyways.
Yeah, I'll see you in Sydney, mate.
So the Wall Street Journal wrote an article about it. They started looking into it, and they found, oh, hey, all this money's going all over the place in weird ways.
Yeah.
And if you followed it long enough down these trails, it would go through all these legitimate companies and then end up as a donation to the CEO of Goldman Sachs, to the campaign party, the campaign of the Prime Minister of Malaysia, to Abu Dhabi's, like, whatever fund. And all these were coming back to donations of these $10, $20, $30 million donations.
Got it.
So this guy very clearly...
It was the
plan from the beginning, and he said, hey, I'm going to pay you a bunch of money, like, and we're all going to get super rich off this. And they were all like, thumbs up.
Yeah.
And he masterminded the whole thing.
Goldman Sachs was like, yes.
They're like, yeah, we like that. We're all about that stuff.
We've got some other schemes that you might want to know about, actually.
Would you like to be a part of another scheme?
What do you think about some, I mean, some legitimate buying of
Yeah, we've got great business opportunities for you if you want to be a part of them.
some mortgages.
Yeah. And also donating to charity, doing these things, donating to charity.
Sure.
Also, getting ridiculous gifts for celebrities and famous people.
Like other
he was dating
celebrities.
a Victoria's Secret fashion show model.
Obviously.
And so like he, at one point,
she was getting paid to date him. Yes. Yeah.
at one point he bought a $300,000 Ferrari for Kim Kardashian for her as a wedding gift.
Who?
Kim Kardashian.
Yeah. To who?
Oh, I don't know, whoever she was marrying at the time.
Oh, okay.
And then a $2 million ring for that girl he was dating.
Did he propose and gave it to her?
Yeah. Will you marry me? Here's $2 million.
And did they break up?
Yeah, they did end up breaking up.
Did she get to keep the ring?
Well, I was going to get to that, but yet no. All of these gifts
Because he
that
didn't give
gave
it at
away-
Christmas time. Just so you know, don't propose at Christmas time if you don't think it's going to work out. Because if you propose at Christmas time or her birthday, that ring is a gift and it's no longer able to get back. So like right now, if Reagan wanted to get out, then she's got to give me that ring back. Because I proposed in August.
But if you did it in December,
If I did,
she can keep it.
even the month before, July 4th, it's a July 4th gift. You can't do it anywhere near a holiday.
Look what Jared got me for the 4th of July.
4th of July. She could argue that in court. She really could. Yeah, I had a buddy who proposed at Christmas. It did not work out.
Yeah.
And because he proposed on December 23rd, she got to keep the ring.
Because it was a gift.
Because it was technically a Christmas gift.
Yikes.
Yeah.
He took her to court over that?
Well, it was in their divorce stuff. They
Oh,
had-
yeah. Yeah, that's fair. And so
He took her to court over that.
we broke up and I want the ring back. And then he gifted Leonardo DiCaprio like some Picasso paintings and stuff like that.
You didn't hear my joke about other celebrities. Like Leonardo DiCaprio just gets gifted Jonah Hill. Hey, Leo, I bought Jonah Hill for you. What?
Oh, thanks.
Thanks. Now he's in all your movies.
You can't give him
You know,
back.
Jonah Hill from Moneyball.
You can't give him back because I gave it to you on December 23rd.
Well,
Now he's
contractually,
yours.
Jonah Hill, you belong to me now. Yeah. Because, well, dude, it's March 17th. That's St. Patrick's Day. So,
Yeah, there's always a holiday close enough. Okay, so he gave Leo a bunch of Picassos, and whenever everything blew up, the DOJ started trying to get restitution for all the money that all the bondholders lost.
Yeah.
To give the money back to the bondholders. So they actually went back to Kim Kardashian, his girlfriend, to Picasso.
And took all those things?
And they took that stuff from those celebrities. All the gifts that they received from this guy, they took back, which sucks.
that does suck.
Yeah, like it's like oh, I mean, Kim
But
got
it doesn't
her.
have to do with me.
Yeah. It really sucks that they took that stuff from them. Kim Kardashian doesn't need a $300,000 Ferrari, but it still is
She
kind
does,
of frustrating.
though. She does.
It is still dumb because he didn't.
And if you support on
they didn't
Patreon,
know.
we'll give her another one to make up for it. You know?
Sorry for your loss.
We're going to send her a $300,000 Ferrari that just says, sorry about that first one.
Sorry about that first one.
And
Also,
then when we
it's December 23rd, so you can't give this back.
Also, don't scratch this. The IRS might want this in a couple of years.
Give it a few years, you'll have to give it back. It's just a long-term lease that we're not going to pay. So
Wow.
yeah,
That would, imagine he gives you a house though.
yeah, he gives you something. And at the time, you think this is just a rich dude who's really way too
what
friendly.
if, here's my other question. What if she sells the ring? $2 million,
Yeah.
right? Now
she
she's
have
using
to
the
give that
Does
money
she,
back?
Would she?
I don't know.
Would she be on the hook for it, not knowing that
Yeah, I don't know how they would.
it came from criminality?
I don't know how they would handle that. And that's the thing that's tough with this is honestly, like, because of the way he lived during the height of this period, he was
Yeah.
blowing millions of dollars a day.
Yeah.
Which means there's honestly a very high chance that all of us in the US at some point came in contact with Jho Low dollars. Jho Low dough.
What do you?
We all earned a Jho Low dough at one point.
I hate that.
Just because he had put so much of that into the economy.
Yeah.
Because he was legitimately buying stuff.
Yeah.
Like
He's supporting us on
blowing
Patreon. Has 20 different accounts. Yeah, I was
Call
looking at
it
the names the
Monster
other
Truck
day,
Team.
and I was like, well, that's crazy. BlackRock Commodities supports us on Patreon? I mean, I guess it was legit. We did do an episode about them. I guess that's how they found us.
They were fans. Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, cool. Support.
He bought us Alex 2 years ago.
We've been trying to give it back. It's gonna be a rough day when the DOJ comes and takes Alex back.
We're here to take your Alex. Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, she's right here on the shelf if you want her.
What?
The echo.
Oh. All right.
Okay, so
This feels like we've been talking too long.
yeah, okay, whatever, bro. So, anyways, long story short, this article came out that traced the funds, and everybody was
What
like,
year was that?
I think 2018.
Oh, okay.
And everybody was like, oh, especially the people in Malaysia who bought the bonds.
Yeah.
And it became a massive political issue because the prime minister was a
Was
part
receiving
of it.
money. Yeah.
And so this was in the middle of a campaign year because he was up for re-election, and he expected the whole thing to just kind of blow over, so he never acknowledged it. Come the election, he lost the election, and this was crazy because it was actually the first time in 65 years in Malaysia that the other party, not the party that this guy was a part of, won an election, and the first time in their history that an opposing party won an election. And so this created a major shift in Malaysian politics because everybody was mad at this guy. So he, a week after the election, tried to flee the country, the former prime minister, and a mob stopped him at the airport and wouldn't let him get on the plane. And he was like, I'm just going golfing.
He's like, I'm just going to, listen, I got to get to Sydney. It's going to be New Year's.
I can't do
And then
New
I gotta
Year's
get
in
to
just
Vegas.
one place.
Yeah.
I'm not one of you
Now that
peasants.
I've tasted 2 New Year's, now that I've put the S in New Year's, I can't go back.
What am I supposed to do? One New Year?
What am I supposed to, 1 year? No, I'm shooting for 2 year. 2 year New Year's.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so the government ends up raiding his house a couple weeks later, and they find just a lot of money all over the house. They found like $20 million cash.
Just in his house?
Yeah, like $20 million cash in his house. And
They also spare 20 mil just hanging out?
Yeah, he's like, it's my...
Remember when we were going to lunch that one day and I opened my backpack and a $20 bill fell out? And I was like, or no, a $100 bill fell out. And I was like, whoa, whoops.
Ooh, whoops.
Didn't know that was in there.
Didn't know that. Yep, might be.
That was one of those moments where I felt much better than you. You know?
And this guy's like, he's
guy's got a
fluffing his cushions.
He's got $20
$2
million
million just pops out of his couch.
trying to fit his fitted sheet over it. You know what the biggest struggle is?
This
Is my
bed is
fitted
so
sheet
uncomfortable.
never fits over my $220 million. You know? I don't know how to fold it.
I can't get it around here.
Oh.
Oh my gosh.
You know, I pulled some jeans out of the dryer the other day, realized that I washed a freaking bearer bond in there. Lost a whole company.
Lost an entire company. It's that thing where he's trying to unfold it. It's all flaky.
Oh no.
Oh no, my
He's got
bearer
little
bond.
chip clips hanging in on his bathroom sink.
He's trying to try it.
Honey, did you see my bearer bond?
I told you, check the pockets for bearer bonds. You never know where the bonds are.
Give me your ring right now.
I think the DOJ is going to want that.
They're gonna want it back.
No, they ended up actually finding a bunch of jewelry, all these just like designer goods.
Yeah, what
they
was the
valued
total?
it $274 million worth of stuff in this prime minister's house, and he was like, it was campaign donations. He's like,
It was
it's
a gift.
perfectly legit. That's what
How
he said.
am I supposed to speak on stage without a crisp pair of sneakers?
That's exactly what he tried to say. That was his case. So he gets indicted and he starts going through the investigation. Interesting thing about Malaysian law, though, he was still allowed to be a part of the parliament. And so for 4 years...
He's like, not guilty.
For 4 years while he's...
He's like, next case? Oh, yes. I'm very familiar with this one. Should we read it out or should I just make my proclamation of what the verdict is? We'll read it out.
We'll read it out.
On December 23rd,
I made $274 million off gifts.
defendant received $2 $274 million. Now, as we all know, that's Christmas time.
In Vegas, it's Christmas Eve. And that's where I was.
And that's where I was until later that day in Sydney, Australia. It was also Christmas Eve. Time zones are weird.
They're weird. I don't know who set them up. So he ends up still being a part of the parliament, voting on laws and being a part of everything until last year he did get convicted and got 12 years in prison for it.
Wow.
And the director of Goldman Sachs, this was a part of his trial he went down for 2008.
Yeah.
But he also went down for this. This was a part of his charge, was this whole scandal. Wow. Because he was a big part of it. Jho Low, on the other hand, when everything broke, he disappeared. And he's been gone ever since.
Show us a picture again.
So he disappeared. He obviously had the means to flee the country.
We're looking for this guy.
Yeah. And so he's been spotted. So we know he has a passport from Cyprus. He's been spotted a lot in China, all over like the it towns in China at parties, and Victoria's Secret fashion show seems to have not gotten over the breakup.
Interesting. Yeah. Let's just follow her around for a while.
But he hasn't. He's not living the same lifestyle he was before. He's very much clearly in hiding.
Humble. Yeah.
But he hasn't been caught. He's charged in Malaysia, the U.S., I think in Switzerland, where his tax haven stuff was, and then also in United
he just
Arab
had
Emirates.
Whatever money he had.
I don't know. He probably pulled it out, and put it somewhere in China.
His bed sheet with $20 million, huh?
Yeah. Sorry, that's just my bed. Can I put is this carry on?
Your bed was more comfortable last week when I was here. Oh yeah, I had to buy some stuff.
Yeah.
So it's a little uneven right now.
Yeah, I gotta make some deposits in my mattress. Fluff it up a little bit.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
my sleep numbers.
He's still at large. The United States really wants him. They've so far recovered through restitution around $360 million.
Wow.
But he stole like $4 billion. So not even close.
Quite a ways to go.
And it probably never will. He's probably going to live out the rest of his days in China, paying celebrities to hang out with him. So that's Jho Low, man.
Wow.
So, but hey, if you want to support us on Patreon, you can use your Jho Low dough. It really helps us out a lot. Oh wait, will we have to give that back?
Yeah, eventually. But for now, we can fiddle off. Hey, thanks for watching Things I Learned Last Night. If you like this video, we have others you can watch, or we have highlights some of our favorite moments from shows. Please make sure to like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any future episodes. And leave a comment below. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next week on Things I Learned Last Night.